Okay. And we are recording. Yay. That was easy. You guys can see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
All right. It is Thursday, October 11th. I am so excited for this call and also ready to kick things up a notch this month. So ready to bring the heat. I hope that this call can give you some tools, some tricks to start implementing right away because it is still really early in the month. We've got 20 more days. That's a long time. So I've kind of themed this call. I always name it at the very end, what attracted you? So you'll kind of see that kind of present itself throughout here because the idea is, either attracting girls to the boot camp opportunity or attracting girls to the coaching opportunity. So moving on, Success Club board. It is a quiet board and I'm not on there either. And this is like, holy shit. But Nikki, I wish all my first graders could be like, congratulations, Nikki, because that's what we say to our people. And Ashley, you guys are rocking it so far this month. And as I said in the last call, the last quarter of the year, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So it's about staying focused when you're sitting down to actually do your stuff, that you're being intentional with what you're doing. And I'm going to kind of go through that today. And, Nikki's been lighting a fire underneath my booty as well since she came back full force after her summer away. So proud of you, girl. I know you're going to be sharing out tonight about actually, do you want to take it now since we're here and just kind of highlight what you feel has been working really well for you so far?
Yeah, definitely. So I had, of course, just written some notes, just my brain. But I really kind of focused it into two categories of, I think it was really mindset and then just tangibles. So I kind of wanted to really start off with one, Janine, you and I were talking about this, that really personal development, even in the past week, when I really hone in on that, I think that is truly that's what fuels your passion. And that's what makes me when I invest in that. And because you hear that all the time, when you first fill your cup, but people don't say it for no reason. It's so true. When I'm pouring into myself, then I have a higher platform to be able to give to other people. And so I think for me, when I was able to kind of step back and reevaluate, and unintentionally too, but then kind of going back into it, it kind of gave me this pause to be okay, what do I want to represent? Because at the end of the day, yes, this is the vessel that we're doing it through, but what is your brand and what do you want to be about? Because you truly will find the people that are interested in the same things and that just sense that from you. And so I think when I was kind of more okay, I want people to see the lifestyle of this, because I think that's been the game changer for me, is really trying to implement more of my lifestyle in it too, and not have it just be personal, but give them value. And so something just beyond oh, here's 4 workout clips, that's awesome. And people will watch that, but how do you get people to engage with you? And so I think when I just kind of took a step back and noticed that, I was that has been a huge reason why girls have started conversations with me. And I've been able to have a relatable place, because it's okay, I'm just signed up for a marathon, and not you need to do this crazy thing, but now I have this outlet of okay, I can connect with other runners, and then just more of this bed making routine and just little things that I'm implementing. It gives me more conversation starters. And so I think that's a big thing, is what are you about? What do you want to be about? And go from there. And then
Well, and can I just
one
we say all the time, you don't want to be this walking Beachbody poster or a billboard, because you're going to come across salesy when you do that. So yeah, we do want to show the workout side of it, because those are the tools that we use, but that should just be the smallest sliver of your day. And I think you've done such a good job of showing your world, your day, your quirks, what makes you tick, what you're doing with your friends. And that just makes you so real and relatable. And you're not showing your whole day by any means, but the bits and pieces that you're showing, you're being so you that it's drawing people in. So it's been amazing to watch. So sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, thank you. But it's so true. Just just take a minute to think about it. Because I think for me, I can overwhelm myself really easily. But when I was able to just pause and be okay, what do I want to represent? What is me? And that's, if I'm really passionate about this, and whether it is just a part-time thing for you or whether you want to take off with this full time or whatever that might be, I think you really have to ask yourself that first. And so that's what I've noticed has been a really cool thing for me to like start conversations with people. And then something tangible that I've been doing, and I just kind of set this goal for myself to do every single night before I go to bed. It literally takes not even 3 minutes, but I printed it out too. I'm like, I love like computers, but I'm also like a paper and pencil person. But it's this weekly planner thing, and if we're all in the Run Wild Hustle and Shine group, Danielle had posted this in it, so it should be in the file section. But it really just goes through like number of times you posted on your story, your daily post, how many people you invited, how many followers you have, like what you started the week off with and what you ended it with. And I'm also tracking too how many followers I've gained each day. And that just helps me to like be more mindful. And it really, you just hold yourself accountable that way to like light a fire of like, okay, like if I want to end this week with 500 followers, like I need to have a ratio of, I need to follow 100 people a day so I can get 10 followers, like whatever that might be. But that has seriously helped me a ton, just being able to be like, oh, okay, I've invited 0 people. Like, how do I start my conversations and have meaningful conversations, but then turn that into like a big conversation piece and then inviting. So that was something that has been really great for me. And I've been doing that every night. And then with that, of the following piece, I've been using Captivate, that app. It is like such a time saver. It's crazy. And that has been a huge thing. I don't know if everybody's aware of it, but it's an app where you can follow a ton of people. I think Janine, you mentioned this last time too. But that has been working great. And then, yeah, I think just also not overwhelming myself with trying to message so many girls. Like I want to be able to have genuine conversations with people. But I was also listening to a podcast earlier today from Melanie Mitro, she's like the top coach in the company. And she was saying, I think 1 of 10 people will become like, they'll say yes. And so it's like, okay, if you think of, hitting like Success Club 5, like how many conversations do you need to be having with people? So I'm like, if I want 1 boot camper a week, then I need to have 10 conversations with girls. And I think almost all of us are probably messaging more people than that. And so it's like hone in on the 10 that you like feel like you really click with, and then ride with that and see what happens. And so that's kind of my advice. I don't know. I was just, when you asked me, like,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we hear all the time, like whether it's going Emerald or whether it's committing to this business, and like Nikki said, it's whatever that looks like for you, but it's a decision. And I used to hate like when people say like, oh, it's just a decision. And it's like, okay, I get that, but what do I do? But if you get your mindset around like, I'm going to decide to do this every day, I'm going to decide to make it work for me. And that's what you're doing. You've taken little pieces and you're not overwhelming yourself with what you've taken on. And you just decided to make it work for you in your life because you see the bigger picture, you see what's possible. So I love it.
Yeah. Thanks.
So you actually talked about a lot of things that I have on here that we can expand on. And whenever you want to chime in, just either wave if I'm not hearing you, because I can just go. Okay. I'm going to touch on a couple housekeeping things before we dive into the meat of the call. Coaching sneak peek changes. So we have a coaching sneak peek coming up next week on Tuesday. In the past, lately, what I've been doing is a 2-day coaching sneak peek. I'm running this one with Brittany Basden. She's the one who I'm running the Fittober group with. We're doing a 1-day sneak peek. And what we are doing is, we'll lay the structure of the group out for the girls in the morning, and then we'll do the intro post early afternoon. Like, introduce yourself, let's get to know each other just like always. And then every 2 hours, a coach story is going to go off. And it's just a graphic with a picture and a coach story. So we've asked a couple different coaches on a couple different teams to write up their story, how they got started, what they love about it, how it's changed, whatever coaching looks like to them. So we're going to fire off a couple of those every 2 hours. And then probably like 8:30, we're calling it like a happy hour hangout, a day in the life. And it's going to be just one longer live video that Brittany and I are going to jump on together. And we are going to cover the ins and the outs of coaching. And we're going to come up with an outline of like what we talk about and what we want to talk about. And the idea with this is that you would then have the file section of all these coaching stories, and then you have the outline of the live call. So then if you wanted to go and run your own coaching sneak peek, you would have all the materials, and all you would have to do is do one live video. So hopefully, this is very easy to recreate if you feel like you're at the point in the business where you want to try it, which I encourage everybody to do. Danielle was going to do the same thing, and then we were going to compare notes, but her and I were talking today, and she is going to do something a little bit different where she's going to do 3 recorded videos like on YouTube, and she's going to upload them. I'm not sure if it's 1 day, 3 days. I'm not sure, but she's doing things a little bit different. And then the idea is that her and I are going to either hop on a call, hop on a live with, the team, compare, contrast what worked, what didn't. So then moving forward, we have some options and some ideas of what works and what doesn't. So I'm really excited about those changes. But, you learn by doing and by growing and mistakes. And so we'll see. It could be a complete flop, but we're going with it. I'm sure that you guys have all gotten these emails for the Make Your Mark promotion. If you were around and you know what Team Cup was, we got away with Team Cup in Beachbody, and now we're doing like more individualized things. So Make Your Mark is replacing what Team Cup was. If you have been hitting Success Club, I just got my hat in the mail, so I'm up for the next. If I hit Success Club this month, I can get the tank top. So that is the first marker. If you get Success Club 10, or there's some stuff like with your coaches, you can get the water bottle, and then it moves up and up and up. And so these are the incentives. You can read all about it in your coach office, but I love free stuff. Like I now have 2 hats. I've got some tank tops. Like I want the shirt. I want the water bottle. Like, I don't know. I'm just like a geek that way, and it gets me excited. So I'm definitely working towards these goals. And then obviously the hoodie is super cute and I love it. All right. So moving on, Nikki touched on personal development, and I wanted to just kind of share a little quick story. I got away from personal development in the last couple of months. I was transitioning jobs, getting married, the whole life stuff. And so I really got away from personal development. Here and there, I would listen to a podcast. Now, I was keeping up with professional development, meaning I was watching Beachbody trainings a couple times a week. So I'm going through a very difficult time right now with some of my friends and like my close friends here in the area, not understanding what I'm doing for this as a business. And they see me on social media, and they see me turning down friendship opportunities or hangout opportunities to work the business. And it's gotten pretty nasty with them saying, you're just talking into your phone and not understanding. And it's caused me to reflect a lot. And I realized I needed some personal development in my life. So I was listening to an audiobook called Unfuck Yourself, and I'm almost done with it now. I was like halfway through it and finally just got right back into it. And I feel like 1,000,000 pounds have been lifted off my shoulders. And so I just want to bring this to your attention again, just because, and Nikki said this earlier too, it is more than just for your business. It is everything for your mindset. It's not cheesy. It's not icky. It's not gross. It speaks to you in whatever you're going through. Like, I'm sure if you were to listen to the same book that I'm listening to, like, I'm getting a lot of like how to react to when people aren't agreeing like with your path, but you might take away something completely different because your life is so different than mine. And that is the beauty of personal development. I have Audible, and you get like free credits every month. I think it's like a monthly subscription. I think that there might be audiobooks on iTunes. I'm not sure, but I do Audible. That's your Amazon. There's obviously physical books, but then podcasts too. And if you ever want like some good personal development podcasts, let me know. I've got a good list of them. But you guys, like on Monday, I restarted, and I've had like 2 bad weekends in a row. And John got home from work on Monday, and he's like, I haven't seen you this happy in like a couple weeks. And I'm like, I know, like it had just turned my whole day around. It might sound cheesy, but I swear to you, adding it in, and I listen on my commute to and from work now. And I'm sad I got away from it, but happy that it's always there. The one quote, I actually texted it to myself. And this one kind of directly applies to the business too. I am not my thoughts. I am what I do. So you can sit here and think that you are, rocking your business. You're doing all that you can do. And man, I'm doing everything that I can. And you can have all these thoughts, but are you actually doing it? Are you actually doing the actions? You can think super negative thoughts, but if you exude positivity, you are what you do. You're not that negative thought that you have. And of course, I'm not saying it as beautifully as the author did, but this just really like resonated with me this week. So I wanted to share that with you. All right. So attracting new coaches. So we had some things pop up on our team page. And I just want, if you're thinking about trying to grow your team, I want you to think, what attracted you to this opportunity? What was it? What was it about the sneak peek? What was it about, the people on Instagram? What were they saying? What kind of lifestyle or things were they talking about that like sparked you? And I want you to use that, write it down, and then speak from the heart on that. Speak from the heart on what got you started. And even talk, like when I got started, and just start spilling like that. When I got started, I was just in the boot camps and I fell in love with these programs. Or when I got started, I was in a coaching sneak peek, just like the one that's being held on Tuesday, and explain like how awesome it was to be a part of that. Start picking little pieces of what attracted you to this opportunity and breadcrumb it. So pick maybe like one thing to talk about on Monday on your Instagram stories. Maybe it's the fitness side of coaching that you love. The next one, maybe it's the community that you love. The next day, maybe it was something that spoke to you in the sneak peek. Maybe it's your vision for where you're going to go. And don't sit there on your Instagram story and spew things out for like 20 frames one day. Breadcrumb it. Little pieces day by day by day. Just start giving people a really good idea of what you do, but be passionate about it. Smile when you talk about it. Like your facial expressions say so much. So, really, really think about what kind of vibes you're giving through a screen of a phone. And I heard this once, fake it till you make it. And I don't want that to come across in a bad way, but if you see yourself as a very successful coach, even if you haven't been getting a ton of paychecks, even if you've gotten only one paycheck, if you see yourself having success in this business, talk about it like you already have it. Talk about the success like it's already there. Talk about the team that you have, even if you don't have it yet, that you're working towards it. Because the more you start talking and presenting and holding yourself in this way, the more confidence you're going to exude and the more attraction you're going to get from the people like that you're speaking to. So fake it till you make it. And I don't mean that like in a super like, I'm a 15-star diamond. Like, what does that even mean? Like, no. Talk about it in like the leader perspective that you want yourself to be. So now let's talk about inviting, because this is how you move your business forward. People are not going to come to you. And I think that that's like the biggest misconception when new coaches come on, is that people are just going, oh, she's doing this, I'm going to message her, I want a new fitness routine. Like, unfortunately, that's not how it goes. That's probably how you're going to get your first couple ones. But you need to transition the conversation from a conversation to inviting. So I hate cold inviting. I hate just picking out a random girl who follows me on my Instagram and saying, hey, so I'm doing this. Do you want to be a part of it? Like, I have so much more success when I actually take the time to have a conversation with them. And you have to be patient with this process, but it does pay off in the long run, because if you're talking and building that relationship maybe back in July. And I know Nikki signed up a girl who she was talking to back in April. If you're building that relationship with them, you will have future clients and future customers. But if you're not building any relationships and any conversations, you're not going to be able to take that conversation and transition it into an invite. And I'm going to get to that later. And if you're posting about either coaching on your story or your fitness on your story, like it won't be scary when you do go to transition the conversation into an invite, because they'll kind of be expecting it because they see that you're doing that every single day. If you're living and breathing this lifestyle every single day, they're not going to look at you like you're crazy. And if they do, they're not your people. Move on. There's so many more fish in the sea. And I was talking to Andrea about who to invite or who to start talking to, or maybe it was Olivia, and it doesn't matter. But she was just starting to reach out to new people that she was following, and she was getting crickets. And I said they could be going to that, like the weird like message request section. They might not be following you back yet. You know, they might be like, who is this person? She just started following me. She messaged me from out of the blue. Go for who's watching you on your Instagram stories. Scroll all the way to the bottom, because those are the people who you haven't connected with that much. The people who you see listed first, those are the people who you connect with the most. And start a conversation with them. Not an invite, a conversation. And I would keep the conversation going. Like if you're kind of hungry to start inviting, keep the conversation going for like 2 days, 3 days, and then it's appropriate to invite. You'll know when it feels right, and you don't want the conversation to just fizzle. So, sorry for all the question marks. There were cute emojis in here, but I have a transitioning the conversation from for boot camp and for coaching, so you can do both. The coaching one, I adapted a little bit. There's still some parts of it that are not me that I'm still adapting, but this gives you a really good baseline to go off of. And then I took the coaching one and I made the boot camp one fit for me. So just going to read these out loud. You're going to see how conversational they sound, how not scary, how not weird. We always used to say, don't be weird. Just be normal. Just be you. And so it's, hey ladies, so we've connected for a few weeks now, or you could say a few days, depending on how long you've been talking. I just really love your vibe. I'm not sure if you're familiar with what I actually do, but I'm call it whatever it is that you want to call it. Name Beachbody, don't name Beachbody. Whatever you feel, go with your gut. This is yours, okay? And I run these amazing monthly groups where women focus on their health, nutrition, fitness, and more. I think that you really love the vibe in the community, and there's obviously tons of fun prizes. Are you currently following any fitness or nutrition programs? No hard feelings if you're not interested. I just had to ask. There's nothing scary about that. There's nothing pushy about that, because you've already been talking to them. So there's nothing freaky about that. Coaching is so similar. And this one, the only changes are I invite 10 new ladies, I invite 10 new women each month to join my, you can say family, my team. I put my team name on there, and to enroll in my coaching and influencer mentorship program. That's kind of a mouthful. Maybe you want to change that. Again, you guys, there's no right or wrong thing. Like, this is a recipe and you can tweak it and change it yourself. I think that you'd really rock this job, so I wanted to reach out. Right there's a compliment that you've given them because you've been talking. You could even say a reason why that you've picked up on in their conversation or that you've noticed from their Instagram. I think you'd really rock this job because, and give a reason. If you're interested in hearing some more, let me know. And then Nikki and I have in the works that we are making up a 1-page PDF that explains it all. And then we're each going to be working on our own coaching videos. But for this purpose right now, you could literally use this and take it and say, if you'd be interested in hearing more, I'm running this really great group on Tuesday, or a couple girls on my team are running this really great group on Tuesday. Switch it, tweak it. Or if the group is already passed and you're doing this next week, a couple of my girls just ran a happy hour hangout explaining everything. Do you want to catch up on that video? No hard feelings if not, just had to ask. Casual, light, fluffy, make it your own. It's not pushy. Okay. If you're sharing this on your social media as it is, they'll be expecting one of these at some point. If you're not, then it's weird. So like, don't be weird. Just do your job. Moving on, money objections. I know that Ashley had asked about money objections, and unfortunately, we're going to get them all the time. And there's really no good recipe for money objections. I always personally play, I'm a broke teacher. I make zero money being a teacher card. And so this is kind of, and I just typed this up tonight, but this is something along the lines of what I'll send at some point for a money objection. I totally understand. Like some girl I was just talking to, she was saying that she's wedding planning and she doesn't have the extra funds. And I'm like, dude, I was just there. I totally understand. But this helped me get in shape for the wedding. It's only a one-time fee. And I lay out all the reasons why she should join. I like to say that it's less than $15 a month when you shake it all out. You can sometimes put in a little like Starbucks, I know that we could all probably cut out a few Starbucks drinks in our lives to save some extra dollars. I think this would be totally worth it. There's no easy way, but I do like to leave it kind of open on the end. Think it over. Let me know. I truly do love this community and think that you would too. Would it be okay if I checked back in with you on Sunday? Would it be okay if I checked back in with you tomorrow? Okay. Leave a hard date so that you can check back in. Because if somebody says no, on to the next. Okay. That was weird. The meeting now has unlimited minutes. They did this to me last time. I'm like, I'm never going to upgrade. Thanks, Zoom. And then Sam, I think that you asked about filming workouts. So they don't have to be long. You don't have to do that many clips of them because, you don't want to have to keep clicking through. So I use my iPhone video recorder and just set up the video and I'll just record probably 3 moves. So it might be a 3 or 4 minute video. And then I'm literally just watching the video while I go. And then after my workout, I come in and I do the edit and the crop section of my iPhone video. And I can always do a screen record and send it to you. And then I put all those different pieces that I crop from that video into the app Unfold. And then I just use Instagram Music to put it over. Hype Type is a really fun one that adds cool fonts, and you can add music on Hype Type. I know that Danielle, she does her whole workout and then she picks 3 of her favorite moves and she records herself after. I personally don't have time for that. So that's why I just record while I work out. And on the hands-free option on Instagram, if you just hold down the hands-free center button, it'll give you the 3, 2, 1 countdown. And then, so you can go get set up with the weight. So you can hold it down, go, and then start curling, whatever. Does that kind of help?
Yes. I just didn't know what apps y'all use because I think everyone kind of uses the same one.
Yeah, it's Unfold, where we can do the grid. I like that one just because I can show a little bit more, but it's still in one 15-second frame. So then I'm not 4 or 5 frames later. And lift core, I always like to show the lifting, the hitting, and then the core. The hitting, bad, but you get the idea.
Janine, I have a question about the Instagram music feature. For some reason, I'm having problems with it. So, because I know I've done it before where you can hit the volume button and if it's unclicked, then it doesn't work, but I've left it on. And even still, when I try and play music to it, it doesn't always do it. And have you heard of that? I tried to Google it. I've tried to
Did you just see it happen on my Instagram story the other day? I had one that had one that didn't, and then one that did. I haven't figured it out. There's no rhyme or reason, and it drives me freaking nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it worked for me twice, and I've tried it 7 times. I'm well.
And see, mine works for me more so than not. But I can't figure out why it works sometimes and why it doesn't. I wish I had an answer.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I thought maybe because I know at the top you can click done, and I'm maybe I was just clicking the screen.
I know.
And not clicking that, but I thought I did that and it didn't work. So I didn't know if you knew. No worries. figure something
Yeah,
out.
no, it's happened to me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is another quote from my personal development book that I'm going to end the call with. You can change your life by doing, not thinking about doing. So again, you can't just think, you actually have to do the actions. And that's like really what I want you guys to take away from this. Like, are you, actually doing the things that are going to move your business forward? So yeah, just go back to what attracted you. If you're a new coach, you're probably attracting boot campers right now, and that's where your focus should be, and that's okay, and providing them like with an amazing experience. And then once you feel like you kind of have that down, then you're inviting to the coaching opportunity. But still, what attracted you to the boot camps? What attracted you to the fitness side of things? Speak to that. Speak to that girl, because you want your people. So what's up? Questions? Nikki, thoughts? I'm going to unmute Ashley. I didn't know. Did you mute yourself? I think you muted yourself because I can't unmute you. But if you have anything to say. Share. Okay, cool. Anybody have thoughts? Another thing that Nikki and I are working on. So Nikki has been setting up one-on-one calls with me like once a week, if not more, which I love. And like, I seriously will make a one-on-one work anytime you want one. And what's cool about when we have our one-on-ones, like, it's not just like me like spewing and telling her what to do. It's like a brainstorming session, like where we're just like going back and forth, like, well, what about this? What about this? Like, it's not like a weird like coaching thing, or like where I'm like, okay, I'm checking in on you. Like, where are you? Like, it's like, okay, like, what do you want to do? Like, let's make some stuff happen. Like, do you need this? Do I need this? And like, I'm learning and growing too. And so we decided we really don't like our new coach training. Like, really don't like it at all. We don't like that it's 20 days. We don't like that it's Angie Bellamar. She's a great coach. She's successful, but she's not us. So we are brainstorming, and we're kind of working with Danielle a little bit. And I talked to Danielle a little bit today. So brainstorming in that phase right now, but the idea is that by the end of the year, we are going to have anywhere between a 7 and 10 day new coach training, very straightforward, what you need to know as a new coach coming in, with also added like layers in case you have like those go-getters who want to take it up at a level. So really, really excited about that project coming up. So
I think that's a great idea, because I was going through the training and it was like 4th day, like, start your challenge group. I'm like, no,
yeah,
I'm not there yet. Like, so then it kind of set me, I was like, should I be there? And then I'm getting through more of the days, and it just doesn't seem like it's in chronological order whatsoever, like what would realistically happen.
yeah.
Especially,
And that,
like, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was going to say, that's one thing that Nikki and I, like, we were saying, okay, well, what would be most helpful first? Then second, like, where should we place things so that it actually makes sense?
Yeah.
And I know Danielle and Mackenzie like worked really, really hard on putting that together and finding like all those resources. And so I was like really treading lightly today when I like brought it up to Danielle, and I was like, no offense, but so no, I'm excited too. And just because like this is our team now, so like whatever feedback you guys all have on this, because you're all new coaches as of this year. So if you think something would be so valuable, like, shoot me a direct message and be like, make sure this is in there. Make sure this is in there. So, because I really want it to reflect us so that future coaches can be super successful right off the bat. I'm going to stop recording and then we can still chat.